In over 1,000 hours of dating coaching, I have seen one big mistake that holds back intelligent but often lonely men from being able to make any kind of progress. They stay single whilst other guys go on to have the relationship that they could only dream of. And if you're struggling in dating right now, then probably you're making this same mistake. My name's Andrew Wilkinson. I am a dating and relationships coach, and I help men from all over the world find a girlfriend. So I get to see this mistake live and in action quite frequently. And what it is I see it when we're speaking about making a change. That could be in how they present themselves, adding some accessories, maybe shifting up how they dress themselves, their style. Or even we could be talking about going to a new event, going to like a salsa class, or maybe even just trying out a new cooking class. But most recently, I saw it speaking to a guy on a call, and we were talking about how we can improve his ability to meet and talk to women. So what I advised him was to go into his city centre and start getting comfortable, giving out good mornings to people, giving out some compliments. And what he said to me was this: "Oh, okay, that sounds really good, but it's just not very me." And this is the same objection that I'd seen with helping men try and change how they present themselves, trying to encourage them to go to a new event. People get caught up because in this instant, that objection, what it's being driven by is an idea of how they see themselves. Okay, there is like complete carnage with the train over there, but we're gonna keep going. We're doing this one take. And what is happening is they are getting caught up in this idea of how they see themselves, this single perception. It's a tight grip that they have. And the idea that even though this sounds good, they just aren't willing to change. And that comes out of a sense of fear, a fear that is the unknown. What would happen if they were to make that change? They don't know who that would be. And it has a sense of arrogance underpinning it, on this idea of, oh, well, I know who I am, and well, I just wouldn't do that. And the issue is, that's often not true, because we are the most complex creatures in the entire universe. And how many times have you been in a position where you discover a new food that you didn't know you were interested in? You discover a new place that you like to go. We don't know who we are and what we like until we try it. When we just picture that out into the world, well, we don't really know. Like, we often then go on the pessimistic side. We go on the idea of, I don't know, like that just probably wouldn't be me. And it just has this simple underpinning of, it's a fear and arrogance. And there'll be something in your own life that is calling out to you of what you could do, whether that is going to the gym or going over and speaking to that girl. But a little voice in your head kicks in, suggesting, oh, well, it's just not really you. That's not really me. I wouldn't do that. And it holds you back, and it destroys your ability to move on and your ability to make progress. And it comes from you having this thought, this idea about your identity. Even worse, it could come from you holding yourself back for fear of what other people might think about you and how that might shape their perception of your identity. But do you know the funny thing about identity is that you get to write the script? Think about it. If you were someone who thought about themselves that, I'm not really someone that trains that much, I'm a little bit lazy. If you then go to the gym 3 times a week for a month, you've become someone who trains. You've become someone who is active. You've put yourself out there, and you have literally changed your own identity through your actions. And that's the difficult thing. We get the identity shift after we have done the action. So we don't see ourselves as these people until we then do it. And we hold ourselves back, and it always just leaves us frozen. And this is especially applicable, think about it, if you're not getting the results you want, that is almost like a science experiment into the world where how I am acting and who I am probably isn't working quite right. The way that I see it as being a bit arrogant is because it's assuming that instead of yourself that should change, it should be the world around me that changes to give me what I want. Instead, it's being willing to take a look at yourself and maybe shift it up, and maybe you don't get it right on that first time. I think this is why older people certainly struggle with trying to sort of change their habits. It's because they have forgotten the ability to shift. They've calcified how they see themselves, and they're also unwilling to be the fool anymore. Because oftentimes when we try something new, we kind of suck at it. Like, go back and watch some of my first few videos. I'm way less coherent, and my ability to communicate was just significantly worse. And I had to go through rounds of being the fool. And that's what it takes. But that is so worth it, to put yourself out there, to get that shift in your identity. Because the biggest, without fail, the biggest mistake I have seen over 1,000 hours of dating coaching is simply this: holding too high and too strong of an opinion on who you are right now, the idea of who you are, versus who you could become, especially if you're not getting the results you want right now. So, in the words of Will Smith from the dating movie Hitch, you is a very fluid concept right now. So if you want to start this journey and start getting good with approaching speaking to girls, then I recommend you check out this video here, where I talk through how I help 3 guys make their first approach in a single week. See you there.